dungeon, Senzai cast a fireball and attacked the wolves with it, but the wolves avoided it in time and leapt towards them to attack. Senzai told Chenzin that there were too many demon wolves and suggested that they should retreat. Chenzin blocked one of the wolf attacks and shouted for his group to retreat and cover his Enzi, while she cast fireballs, but before they could retreat they heard a loud growl, and when they looked up they saw a huge wolf glaring at them. The other wolves surrounded them, pinning them in the center. Yun Kang fearfully told his team they were doomed, and Xiao Zhang asked his team if the huge wolf was the demon wolf leader of the second floor gatekeeper, and why it had come to the first floor. On the other hand, Wu was relaxedly digging into the ground. He was happy because the boss's room was right below him, but he stopped when he heard a loud growl from the first floor. He thought the four of them had good equipment and they should be fine, but he decided to take a look because he knew that the mission could wait, but it would be bad if Chenzin's group died. He remembered that he had almost caused their deaths. Once he quietly walked towards where the growl was coming from and saw that Chenzin's group was surrounded by wolves. He planned to help them by luring the demon wolf leader away, thinking they should be able to deal with the remaining armored demon wolves. Suddenly, a bright red light shone from them, making him wonder what it was. Chenzin revealed a weapon shimmering brightly, an artifact known as the Fire Lizard's Madness Flame Dagger. This level D artifact imbues the wielder with flames. Its effects boost defense attack and recovery rate by 50 and last for 60 minutes, but are only available to players below level 20. We recognize this as a rare item dropped by the underground dungeon boss, which would usually disappear after a single use. Xiao Zhang informed Chenzin that they had spent half a year's savings on it. Yun Kang pointed out that if others knew they'd used a D-level artifact in an E-level dungeon, they'd be mocked mercilessly. Shenzhen, however, retorted that they should wait until they had survived the ordeal to discuss it further. From a distance, Wu acknowledged that they didn't require his help. He knew that the D-level artifact could fetch at least 500,000 at the auction house, yet it was reserved for emergencies. Shenzin's group was the first ever to employ a D-level artifact in an E-level dungeon. Checking the countdown of his mission, Wu noted there was only half an hour remaining. He needed to move swiftly. A minute later, he had finished digging the last underground passage and carefully descended, landing in the demon wolf dungeon boss room. He assessed his adversaries. The first monster, double-headed wolf Thors, was a level 20 demon wolf dungeon elite known for its extreme cruelty. It was an E-level creature with a special ability known as Tear. The second creature, the boss monster named Half Beastman Luca, was a level 25 with 2 HP. Once a half Beastman chieftain, Luca had become corrupted and assumed the role of the demon wolf dungeon boss as a D-rank entity. His weapon of choice was a large axe in an effort to make the exploration of this new fantasy world more exhilarating. Wu had sprinkled checkpoints in Easter eggs throughout the game. One significant Easter egg in the demon wolf dungeon allowed players to reach the boss room without engaging in combat following the usual route. Players would only reach the door of the boss room. However, Wu had dug a hole directly into the boss room to avoid waking the boss. He opened his inventory to find a roasted pig, combining it with sleeping mushrooms, potent sleeping pills, and alcohol. He fashioned a sleeping medicine. Roasted pig. Slowly and deliberately he approached the slumbering double-headed wolf with the doctored meal. He placed it near the wolf and hastily retreated. Awoken by Wu's movement, the wolf was taken aback by the sight of the roasted pig. One of its heads eagerly bit into the meal, causing the other head to grow angry and bite its counterpart. As the two heads bickered, Wu contemplated whether he should have brought 2 roasted pigs, silently praying that the noisy dispute wouldn't awaken the boss he anticipated. The imminent onset of the sleeping medicine's effects. After a few tense minutes, the double-headed wolf collapsed, indicating the sure sleeping medicine roasted pig had taken effect. Wu quietly approached Half Beastman Luca, knowing that despite its less potent physical power compared to the wolf, it maintained control through its D-level large axe. and Tornado Dance skill. The weapon, named Half Beastman's Large Axe, had an attack power range of 35 to 50. Its special ability was the Tornado Dance Slash, with a cooldown period of 30 minutes. This artifact, a treasured heirloom of the Beastman tribe, was meant to be owned by the Beastman chieftain. However, after becoming corrupt, Luca had stolen it and removed it from the tribe's domain. The weapon required a usage level of 25. Incredulous that he had set the requirement at level 25, Wu crept towards the axe, mumbling about wanting to punch himself. However, he froze as the boss stirred awake swiftly. He stashed the axe in his inventory. The boss prepares its fists, aiming for Wu, who managed to dodge. Still, the debris from the impact damage can buy 20 HP. Wary of the potent attack, Wu realized that a direct hit could have cost him half his HP. As the boss lunged again, Wu dodged and then sprinted away, pleading for a break. To apply his buffs, he opened his inventory, consumed Lojong's spicy rabbit head to boost his speed by 5 for 5 minutes, then activated his Bunny Slayer title skill, increasing his berserk strength by 10 for 10 minutes. Brandishing 2 shovels, he turned to face the boss, declaring the chase over. As the angry boss approached, a notification popped up revealing only 14 minutes remained to complete the mission. Recognizing it was time for action, Wu prepared for the offensive. They were facing each other. While the double-headed wolf slept peacefully on the side, the creature lunged a fist to attack him, but he blocked it deftly with the head of his shovel. Ripping his shovel tightly, he slashed at the creature, dealing 15 points of damage. He quickly realized that the damage inflicted had no effect to defeat the monster. He would need to land 200 hits of the same magnitude for a team. This task wouldn't be difficult if there was a warrior who could absorb the boss's strikes and provoke it. The other members could continuously attack, but at that moment he was alone, and he had no time to provoke the boss. The beast picked up a large stone from the ground and hurled it at him. He couldn't dodge it. The stone was too fast. It hit him, and he suffered 60 points of damage. Leaning against the wall, he was surprised that the boss had a throwing skill. It seemed that the system had modified the beast. This was not the boss he was familiar with. The creature grabbed the chain of the double-headed wolf, making him wonder why it had stopped attacking him. Suddenly, half-beastman Luca slapped the wolf repeatedly, surprising him. He opened the interface, berating the boss for its cowardice. He was fighting it alone, yet it wanted to call its teammate for help. Looking at his remaining points, he knew he couldn't let it wake the double-headed wolf, but even if he invested all his remaining points into strength, it wouldn't help much. Still, he needed to survive, so he risked it all, putting his remaining stats into agility. He thought he might currently be the most agile level 10 player. He ran towards the boss, stabbing it with his 2 shovels, dealing 18 and 20 points of damage. The beast growled furiously, attacking him with its sharp claws. He definitely rolled into the air to dodge the attack, extinguishing the torches in the process. Landing, he told the panic-stricken boss that it had been a false attack. His original plan was to extinguish the torches, for in darkness his demon eyes gave him a significant advantage. Confused and wary, the boss felt the eyes behind it and immediately turned to block his attack from behind. Frustrated that it could still sense his attack, he spun in the air, shouting that the fight wasn't over yet. He slashed and stabbed its neck, dealing 130 points of damage by hitting its weak point. The beast's current HP dropped to 1 in 817 out of 2,000. The creature punched back at him, but he disappeared swiftly as it looked around. A shovel was launched at it. He stabbed at its weak point, the kneecap, slowing it down. Seizing the opportunity, he stabbed at its other weak point, the eye, reducing its eyesight. He dealt 120 points of damage. He stepped back as the beast collapsed on the ground, thinking about how effective his stealth attacks were in the dark. He ran towards the creature to continue attacking, but it reached for the chain on the ground, swinging it in a fit of anger. Unfortunately, the chain struck him in the stomach, throwing him harshly to the ground. He took 75 points of damage, leaving him with a meager 100 out of 250 HP. Painfully, he opened his inventory, cursing in anger. He grabbed His medicine just as the creature attacked again. He ran the system warning him that the creature was adapting to the dark. He drank a mid-level healing potion set to recover 100 HP within 10 seconds once his recovery was complete. He stopped running and faced the beast ready to continue the attack. He leaped and struck its head with his shovel, then continuously hit it in the face, shoulder, hand, and chin until its HP dropped to 650 out of 2000. Suddenly, a notification popped up in front of him stating that the HP of the Demon Wolf Dungeon's boss half-beastman Luca had fallen to a third, and it was entering Berserk mode. A few seconds later, it entered Berserk mode, and a notification popped up warning him that he was being locked on. Swiftly, it launched its fist in an attempt to punch him. He blocked the blow with his shovel, unable to dodge, but his shovel was shattered, and the fist struck him directly in the stomach. Thrown back, he flammed into the wall hard, suffering 100 points of critical damage. Though badly injured, he understood that one more hit could potentially be fatal. Suddenly, it was on top of him, poised to deliver a killing blow, but he rolled aside in the nick of time. He then stood up and ran, taunting his foe by asserting that he too could enter Berserk mode. Opening the notification, he saw that he only had 4 minutes and 30 seconds to complete the mission, and his Berserk skill would be ready in another 12 seconds. Activating his trump card, he selected his Demon Race transformation skill as he was gradually enveloped and transformed into a demon form. His stats temporarily increased by 20%. The transformation lasted only 29 seconds, but during that time his energy overflowed, and he believed that in his demon form he might even be able to defeat a level 30 player alone. Beastman Luca, though in a berserk state, could still feel fear in its eyes. Wu had become monstrous, huge, and formidable. They picked up stones and hurled them continuously, but Wu merely walked calmly towards it. When a massive stone was about to hit him, he caught it with one hand and crushed it. He then asked Beastman Luca if it was prepared for the beating that was about to come. Leaping into the air, Wu closed the distance to Beastman Luca, teasingly telling it to taste his serious punch. He then punched it hard in the face and chin. Each punch inflicted damage ranging from 130 to 170. He was aware that his state granted him immense power, but the duration was extremely short, a mere 30 seconds. If he failed to defeat Boss Luca within this time, the tables could turn again, so he couldn't afford to let his foe recover. Meanwhile, on the first floor of the Demon Wolf Dungeon, Chen Xin and his group lay exhausted. Xiao Zhang expressed relief at their victory, while Gen Zia warned that her magic wand was on the brink of breaking. Suddenly, a loud growl surprised them. Xiao Zhang panicked, asking about the sound and whether there could be more problems. However, I surmised it was likely a monster fight happening below them. Chen Xin instructed his team to rest and stay alert. A minute later, they proceeded to the boss room, but a notification congratulated them for clearing the Demon Wolf Dungeon and eliminating the boss half-beastman. Luca, a puzzled Xiao Zhang, asked his team how they had cleared the dungeon so effortlessly. On the other hand, in the Demon Wolf Dungeon's boss room, Wu leveled up 3 times. The notification congratulated him for completing the demon profession change mission. He was exhausted, but relieved it was over. He then opened his inventory to check the boss drops, noticing an item called Weird Necklace of unknown level, effect, and rarity level, but he inferred it was of high quality. He was pleased to see many magic crystals, but was surprised to find a perfect quality blue crystal. He knew the ranks of crystals were divided into 3 sections: normal, pure, and perfect. The D rank normal blue magic crystal had dim light and poor quality, while the D rank pure blue magic crystal was brighter and of higher quality. The D rank perfect blue magic crystal was even brighter, similar to a precious gem. Knowing its high value, he envisioned himself and Meg enjoying a lavish meal. Meng happily told him she loved her dad the most, making him really happy. He cited his broken shovels, realizing he needed to find a craftsman to make him a sturdy weapon. He was certain he had become accustomed to using a shovel holding the necklace from his inventory, he pondered why he was unable to appraise it, and whether the game had added the necklace. Suddenly, he heard footsteps approaching the room where the double-headed wolf was sleeping peacefully. However, it stirred and raised its body, preparing to stand. He knew the game setting well. Once the stone door was pushed open, Thor's, the double-headed wolf, would awaken frustratingly. Even a surefire sleeping potion wouldn't work on Thor's under these conditions. He muttered under his breath, cursing the designer who set up this system, but realized he needed to make a quick escape before the wolf noticed him. Swiftly, he leapt to a hanging rope, his exit strategy, and decided to let Shenzin's group handle Thor's as he had already eliminated the boss. Seconds later, the group opened the boss room door, puzzled to find the boss already defeated. Even though they hadn't yet opened the stone door, I remarked on the mysterious and strange nature of the dungeon. Adding to their surprise, their shock deepened as they discovered the half-beastman Luke dead on the ground. Xiao Zhang speculated that the double-headed wolf could have betrayed and killed the boss. Upon hearing this, the wolf, enraged, attacked them. They exclaimed that the dungeon was not only strange but also insane. Eventually, they managed to eliminate Thor's, the double-headed wolf. Xiao Zhang admitted to his team that their venture into the dungeon had yielded a negative profit. They have lost an artifact, obtained only a few E-rank magic crystals and some trash items, and didn't even secure a decent weapon. Suddenly, a notification appeared before Chen's Inn indicating that their clear time for the Demon Wolf dungeon was 58 minutes and 2 seconds, breaking the previous record. The system was set to globally announce this news, and it asked them if they wished to conceal their identity. They were momentarily speechless, but Chen's Inn chose not to hide their identities. The notification then inquired if they wanted to give their squad a cool name. Chenzia suggested Flame Lizard Squad. Shortly after, a global announcement congratulated the Flame Lizard Squad Shenzhen Kaizio Zhang Kiwi Jinzai for breaking the Demon Wolf dungeon's record with a clear time of 58 minutes and 2 seconds. Each team member received the Wolf Hunter title. Upon reading the announcement, other players were impressed. Even though they knew that the squad had used artifacts, they were still astounded by the short 58-minute completion time. Xiao Zhang told Shenzhen that their fame could secure them spots in some top guilds. The interface informed them that the Wolf Hunter title, which increased their attack power by 7%, was earned by clearing the Demon Wolf dungeon within an hour. They noticed hydrating on the first floor and speculated that he must have scored big in the dungeon.